Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection is coming out soon, and I am beyond excited. This collection includes all 6 original games and their variants, as well as a few cool new features. In this video, we'll cover what we know about the game so far, and go over everything you need to know before buying. Originally released in 2001, Mega Man Battle Network is a tactical RPG spin-off series featuring a creative reimagining of the Blue Bomber. In the near future, the world is completely centered around the internet, and people use their NetNavis, avatar programs, to jack into the net, to communicate with each other, to fight off computer viruses, and, well, all sorts of things. The dual protagonists of the Battle Network series are 5th grader Lan Hikari and his NetNavi, MegaMan.EXE. The story focuses on their adventures, foiling the evil schemes of the World 3 crime syndicate run by an alternate version of Dr. Wily. The Battle Network games came out during a time when collectible cards/monster games like Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Were super popular, and producer Capcom wanted to get in on the action. In the game, you collect battle chips, which in battle work like special moves you could use once before drawing a new chip from your deck. The unique combination of action RPG and tactical card game made for really fun battles, and the inclusion of the original series Mega Man bosses, reimagined as NetNavis, was a really cool way to reach out to new and old fans alike. The series was very popular, reaching its peak perhaps at Battle Network 3 before slowly dying down after that. There were a few spin-off games as well, and a full-on anime series. Now, 22 years after the original game's release, we have the Battle Network Legacy Collection. So, let's get into what we know so far. First, the collection will have all 6 games. It will also have the alternate versions for 3 through 6, meaning Battle Network 3 white and blue version will be included. In total, that's technically 10 games. I say technically because there's really not too big of a difference between the alternate versions of the games, so most players likely won't play 3 through 6 twice, but it's cool that they added them regardless. Let's go through the pros and cons of this collection, starting with the cons just to get it out of the way. First con is that, unfortunately, the spin-off games like Battle Chip Challenge won't be included. This isn't that big of a deal, as most of these games never got seen by a Western audience anyways, but still, if we're having a full Legacy collection, it should include everything, shouldn't it? I imagine that there may have been some hardware issues translating these to modern consoles, especially with the 2 arcade-only games, or maybe they just weren't popular enough to warrant inclusion. Whatever the reason, this may lead to disappointment from some diehard fans, however, I think the majority of players won't care. Another con is, well, the price tag. The Battle Network collection will be sold at the standard new game price of $60. Wait, $60 for a bunch of almost 2-decade-old Game Boy Advance games? Really? That's definitely a tough pill to swallow. However, there are some things to consider. Obviously, it's not hard to emulate these games for free. Not that I do that. However, there's a bunch of new features added to this collection that you'd be missing out on if you went that route. Features I'm really excited to talk about soon. Alternatively, the prices for used copies of the original games have skyrocketed in recent years. I'm talking about the territory of hundreds to thousands of dollars. And yes, that is circumstantial to the current economy of inflated retro video game prices, but my point is, when the Legacy Collection comes out, it will literally be the cheapest way to legally play these games. Another con, for just the digital version, the game will be split into volumes 1 and 2, whereas the physical copy will contain both. The physical copy is $60, but volume 1 and 2 of the digital version are both $40 each. So if you went the digital route, it would be $80 total for the whole thing. This price increase makes no sense to me, and I don't have any positive way to spin it. That just sucks, and I'm going to leave it at that. Now that we got the negative stuff out of the way, let's talk about the pros, starting with new features. The Battle Network collection will have a main menu with a 3D Mega Man front and center. He'll supposedly say a variety of things, and he's voiced by the original Japanese and English voice actors for Mega Man from the Battle Network anime, which is pretty cool. Personally, as a kid who always wanted a Mega Man NetNavi, it's cool to finally get it for real and on a portable console. It's like I finally get my very own pet. Another feature is the art gallery, which will be full of concept art, illustrations, and more, with over 1,000 pieces of art in total. There will also be a music gallery featuring 188 songs from all 6 games. This one I'm excited about especially. Included in the collection will be 15 special battle chips that were previously only available during Japanese promotional events. One of these is the Bass.X chip from BattleNetwork 1. I specifically remember using a Game Shark to unlock this chip. Yeah, remember these things? An HD filter will be included which you could toggle on and off. This smooths out the jagged edges and makes the game look a little bit better on modern consoles. Personally, I'm not really sold on these filters. Pixel art is made to look pixely. I'll reserve judgment until I see it myself. Saving the best for last, let's talk about the possibly most exciting addition to the BattleNetwork series, online play. Finally, you could battle other players' NetNavis in online matches. Even better, you could trade battle chips. This is a dream come true for kids who grew up wishing we could do this back in the early 2000s. I mean, yeah, the internet existed back then, but for some reason Nintendo didn't realize that until 2008. The best we got was this 4-link cable thing. Some other cool modes will be available to specific games, such as trading styles in BattleNetwork 2 and tournament mode in BattleNetwork 4. One more feature I thought I'd point out that's kind of interesting is that the games in this collection will specifically be the original Japanese versions with a new English translation, rather than the original North American and European releases. This means that some content that was originally in the Japanese versions of the games should be included this time around. I researched the localization differences, and besides a missing boss fight and a few other things, there's really not too much different, but still, it should be interesting to see the little changes. So to summarize the new features, we have a 3D MegaMan menu avatar, a music and art gallery, online matches, online trading, 15 bonus battle chips, and extra Japanese localized content. Now, the ultimate question here, should you buy the Mega Man BattleNetwork Legacy Collection or not? Personally, I'd say the answer is yes. The price tag is a bit bloated, but not so much if you consider the value of the new features, especially the online play. And it's still cheaper than used copies of the originals. If $60 is still too steep, well, eventually this collection will probably go on sale, and when it does, it'll be a must-buy for sure. I grew up with these games. I can attest to how great they are. I have fond memories of going out and getting BattleNetwork 2 the summer of 6th grade, and staying up all night collecting battle chips and fighting viruses. It's hard to believe the last mainline game in the series, BattleNetwork 6, came out a whopping 18 years ago. An entirely new generation was born and grew up between then and now to never know what it was like to play a new BattleNetwork game. While this collection doesn't contain any new games, its sales very well may go towards funding a new one. This has actually happened in the past, with the Mega Man Legacy Collection helping to get Mega Man 11 greenlit and funded. So it's not crazy to think that if there's enough interest in this collection, Capcom very well may develop BattleNetwork 7. And wouldn't that be amazing? Mega Man BattleNetwork Legacy Collection comes out April 14th, 2023 for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, and on Steam. Thank you all for watching my video, and for more retro video game content, subscribe to Wes Does Games. Later!